I'm on my way to the allotment soon, and I'm taking 50 Senshyu. I wanna send you up. Sorry, if you've seen the kitchen karaoke video, that'll make sense. 50 Senshyu onions, which are good for overwintering. I've planted these before, but I've never had these from this supplier, so we'll see how they go. When I get up there, I'll open them, see what condition they're in. Any squishy ones I'll remove, any ones with mould on I'll remove. I'll only plant the firm ones. So I'll take those up to the plot, might as well get them planted out now. See, look, plant middle of August up until November, so they can be planted now. We're in the middle of September. And I'm also going to take up 4 of our own homegrown garlic bulbs. These were planted roughly around this time last year. They grew on all through the winter, spring into summer. We harvested them a couple of months ago, and we've still got loads left. So I'm going to split these 4 up and plant some more out, because we did amazing for garlic harvest this year with all the garlic that we'd grown over the winter that we planted around about a year ago, almost to the day probably. So yeah, 4 bulbs, 50 onion sets, and an awful lot of weeding. I've tied up some of these squashes because they needed it. They were proper encroaching on the Brussels sprouts there. No sign yet of the elephant garlic. However, I did only plant it a week ago, so a little bit optimistic to see signs of growth already. But I'll keep you posted on that with regular updates. Right, next job. I've covered the blackcurrant bed with manure. It's a smelly job, but someone's got to do it. So, a couple of things that I'll do for us. It'll really feed that soil, and also it's going to act as a barrier, like mulch. It'll act as a mulch, and it's got all winter now. It's only in the middle of September. It's got all winter to rot down for the worms to do their funky thing with it. So yeah, knackered my trainers up at the manure pile, but it's worth it. I cleared this bed out. It had 1 courgette plant left in it and a lot of weeds. So I rescued 3 courgettes off the plant. This time last week they were only tiny. They're a decent size now, so they'll be gratefully used up in the kitchen. So now we're going to plant the Senshyu onions. So let's get cracking. The only real thing I've done to prepare my soil is I've weeded it, and I've seen what it's like for moisture, which will let me know if I need to water the onions in or not. Now, we do get a lot of rainfall where I live, so the soil's holding plenty of moisture. I'm not going to add any manure or anything. The soil's okay. The next thing I do is I sort through all of the sets, just like that one there. If it's squishy or mouldy, take it out. I'm only after the firm sets with no signs of mould or disease or damage. And because I don't know what disease it is that's caused these 2 sets to go mouldy, they will not be added to my compost bin. I'll burn those or dispose of them in another way. And then that way, if it is a disease, it won't be passed into my compost. So for planting them out, I'll put the first one into a corner, but not right up against the corner. It needs to have some space around the sides of it so that the roots can find nutrients in the soil. And then if I spread my hand out so that my thumb to my little fingertip is used as my planting guide, that's roughly the distance it said on the packet to plant them out, which is around 10 centimetres. In fact, if anything, my finger span is a little bit larger than 10 centimetres. For the depth, I'm just pushing them in so that when I brush the soil over them, the tip of the onion set is literally just underneath the surface of the soil. That's how I found does best for me. And between each row, I'm leaving enough space that I can get a small hand tool in there for when it comes to weeding them later on. Onions, they don't really like competition from weeds, so you need to plant them in a way that you can easily weed around them. One raised bed, done. I've got those onion sets left. I've done the bed. Where is it? There. But I've still got all those left, so what I'm going to do is just weed this section here next to the celery. This was what was the raspberry bed. I don't know if you remember, it took me ages to get all the raspberries and all the roots of all the weeds out. So if I just weed a bit of this, I can get some more of these onion sets planted out. And also, if you remember at the start of the video, I brought up, was it 3 or 4 bulbs of homegrown garlic to replant as well. So, right, there's a big prickly thistle thing there. And I haven't got my gloves. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Ow. Come on. Hey, look at the size of the root as well. I did it. I only prickled myself a little bit. Bare hands. Who's the man? Oh, yes. Oh, flipping heck, there's more. I thought it was just one. Right, hang on. Let's get this one. Oh, yeah, with the root as well. Let's get some of this stuff. Get some of that off. Right, is that the last one? Ow. Ow. Oh, yes, look at that. Done. Bare hands. I'll be honest, it hurts like hell, and as soon as I've stopped recording, I might even cry a little bit. So I'm planting these out using the same method I described before. My hand spacing. I'm going to get so many onions next year. All these overwintered onions. I've never really had any failures, really. Oh, perhaps 1 or 2, but every time I've overwintered onions, we've always done really, really well. And this year, we got so many onions. It's just been amazing. It's one of the things we've not had to buy pretty much since, what, June onwards. Tell you what, for a bag of 50 I'm doing really well out of them. I've still got these left, so that means I'm going to have to weed this at the side of our plot where we've got some runner beans, which are pretty much slowing down now. I've only picked about 3 or 4 today from there, and I don't think we'll get many more, but I'm going to have to weed all this now, aren't I, just to get them in. And I've got that garlic as well. I've not even touched the garlic. I suppose if I was ever asked the question, what's my favourite tool to use when I'm gardening, I'd have to say it's my hoe. It's a Dutch hoe. It's just so useful. The way it severs the weeds, so you know, the roots of the weeds, so that it helps you weeding. The particular one I've got stays incredibly sharp. I think I've only ever sharpened it once or twice. I've had it for years. Slow it down, here we go, right. Thank the Lord I wear a belt. That could have been really awkward. How many gardening videos have you seen where you've seen a blue moon rising, shall we say? Exciting or what? Bare patch of ground, but you're going to have to take my word for it. It's now full of onion sets. After I've weeded it, the sets went in. There's plenty of moisture in the soil, to be honest, so I'm not going to water it. Now this one, I know some of you love bare soil planting shots. So William Coleman, this one's for you, big fella. I've planted out all the onions now, but I've still got these garlics, not touched them. And I'm kind of running out of like instant spaces that just need a little bit of a weeding. So what I'm thinking, even though that bed there I was going to leave with the manure on, all just over winter. And there's cardboard underneath it too, which kind of scuppers my plans a bit. I'm not quite sure, but what I'm thinking is if I just mix that manure into the soil, and then I'm not planting the garlic into just like 6, 7, 8 inches of raw manure. There's a bit of soil there as well, but I don't know because of the cardboard. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to. No, I've decided I'm not going to. I'm not. Stand down, calm down. I'll leave it as it is. I've still got the problem of what do I do with those? Right, let's go hunting. What have we got? Right, kale bed. Even more kale. There's carrots. We planted leeks into that one. Better leave that. That's got onion sets in. What's going on here? Now, what was that? Is it some sort of broccoli, or it's some kind of brassica, that? And there are a few gaps, but I don't know. Ideally, I'd rather just have a full empty bed. Got butternut squashes in. Oh, I don't know, guys. I've not got anywhere, I don't think. No. Right, I'll just have to take the garlics back home with me. Not plant them out yet. Wait a little bit longer before I plant them out, perhaps. Wait till these squashes go. That'll be another month or two. Getting into October, possibly November, when they're ready to be pulled out. So it's still got time to plant garlic. So yeah, right. No garlic today then. So what I'll do instead, I think, is I shall just pick a little bit of kale to take home. I always like to take things home with me when we've come to the allotment, because it reminds you the reason why you work so hard up here in the first place. It's to grow food, which you can then harvest, take home, cook and eat, or preserve. But either way, you're going to end up eating it. Now, I've made up my own little name for a method that I use when I'm harvesting kale leaves off a plant such as these, and I call it the two bottoms method. Don't worry, you're not going to get another slow motion view of the crack of my bottom as I'm bending over in front of the camera. Two bottoms. So what I mean by that is I start from the bottom of the plant, and sometimes what you find is the very lowest leaves on these kale plants, they're starting to go a bit yellow, where they're getting old and starting to die. So I remove those yellow leaves. That's the first bottom. Then the second bottom, I'm still staying at the lower end of the plant. Then what I do is I peel off the next set of leaves, and they're the ones that I keep as my harvest. You generally find they're slightly larger because they're older, because all the new growth on a kale plant is at the top of the plant. Those if you want like succulent younger leaves, you go from the top of the plant, but I use my two bottoms method. So I'm back now, gonna make a brew, go and get a bath, because I've got troll hands, yeah. And then once I'm clean, I've got all that food to prepare that I brought home, things like the huge amount of kale leaves that I picked. So, not quite sure how I'm gonna prepare them. I don't know whether to freeze them, which is a lot quicker, or dehydrate them, or scrabble around for some other bits of veg, and might just make a soup, which will then blend up. Either way, I'll put a decent amount of food on. So, as ever, thank you for watching. And if you've not already, why don't you click the like or the subscribe button? No, to tell you what, click both. Click both. Just do it. Because that lets me know I'm doing the right kind of things that people want to see. And I'll be really grateful for that, for your feedback, by clicking the like, clicking subscribe. But you know what the best thing of all is? When you leave a comment. I love reading your comments and replying to those comments. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.